Okay, so, today we're going to cover pedicuring. Let me get over there to that slide. All right, so we covered manicuring recently. The next chapter is pedicuring. Um, on the right slide. There we go. As far as objectives, so pedicuring and manicuring are essentially, I don't want to say that they are the same, but they're kind of the same. One is on the hands, the other is on my feet. But I will say pedicuring is a more detailed service because a lot of times our feet is what we tend to not take care of as normal as we take care of our hands. So we're going to talk about, or once we finish this slideshow, you guys should be able to explain the importance of understanding and learning about pedicuring as a nail tech. Describe the different equipment that we're going to use, that you'll be using to perform your pedicuring services. We're going to discuss multi-use and single-use implements and materials for pedicure services. Some of those implements and materials are going to be the same as what we discussed with manicuring. And then explain the uses of professional pedicure products. The chapter will also outline the different steps that you need to establish a pedicure business. Also identify the different the benefits of pedicure massage. So your SEMA will also break down the steps to a pedicure, but you guys also have a list of the steps to a pedicure. You guys have also you two for sure have done pedicures as well. So this may be more like a review for you guys, but if there's anything that I cover that doesn't make sense or that you're unsure of or you have a question about, don't hesitate to stop me. We're also going to talk about the different approaches to personal pedicures that are sensitive to clients with special health considerations. So we're going to talk about the small population of clients that we do have to consider or take special considerations with when we're performing pedicuring on them. And then we're going to talk about disinfection practices. You guys also, I want to remind you while I'm looking at Objective 8, make sure that you guys are becoming familiar with your TDLR rules and laws when it comes to the disinfection of the pedicure equipment, because you guys will definitely have that on your exam. Let me see if I have a book. I don't think I have a rule book with me, but if I have time, then what I'll do is I'll pull up the TDLR site and I'll make sure that I highlight those rules so that y'all can be reminded of those, because you will see those on your exam. All right, so moving forward, explaining why we should learn about pedicure services. Thought that was going to be on the next slide, but guys, I think y'all can tell me why you need to learn about pedicure services, because people, if you're going to be doing people's nails, they may want to get their pedicure as well. That is another opportunity for you to add more services to your menu, and also be able to keep your clients in-house without having to refer them. Show of hands, do y'all plan to do pedicures? Because some nail techs don't do pedicures, and that's completely fine. Alana's not planning to do pedicure. You're not going to offer that service. All right. And you do pedicures. So Alana, I want to tell you, if you don't do pedicures, you're going to be sending people out of the door. You're going to be sending money out of the door. So I would encourage you to say, yes, I am going to do pedicures, and maybe hire an assistant to do that for you, because you don't want to send people away. You want to keep everybody that's going to be patronizing your business in your business. All right. So as far as a basic pedicure, I'm gonna tell you, at the school we are giving everybody a spa pedicure, okay? But a basic pedicure only includes trimming and shaping the nails and polishing the toenails. It does include exfoliating the skin, okay? Um, and when I say exfoliate the skin, I'm really talking about using either a pumice stone to exfoliate the skin on the bottom of the foot, okay? Or maybe even a foot file. Also, your pedicure is going to include massage. Now, what we're doing at the school is we're giving a whole leg exfoliation, right, with the scrub, because we're scrubbing up to their calf muscle. We're also applying a mask and wrapping them with hot towels. Guys, that's really not a base pedicure. We're just doing that for clients, just to make them feel good with coming to beauty culture and make them feel like we're not just bringing them in and pushing them out the door. We're trying to give them that experience. As far as understanding the importance of pedicuring, um, pedicuring is a desirable service. A lot of times, a lot of people need it. You also want to be able to differentiate the tools for your pedicures and properly use your tools for pedicuring. And also, you want to be able to safely and correctly perform your pedicure services. As far as the equipment, so we're going to start with the equipment. Okay. I think that you guys all know what a pedicure station or pedicure chair is, but or we can call it a pedicure station. The station will include a comfortable chair, um, the design of the chair, and where you have your chair set up will the location will vary. Um, you also want to pay attention to your client, your body's positioning when you're doing the pedicure. So at the school, we have that room that we're doing the pedicures in. We don't have these big whirlpool foot spas, but and if you decide to have the plum systems, by all means you can invest in those, or you can also just simply use a pedicure tub or pedicure basin to do a pedicure. Okay. And as far as paying attention to your body's position, you just want to make sure that you're not, straining your back or straining your neck. So that's why we have those small pedicure stools for you guys to sit in to do your pedicure so that you're more eye level with your client's foot. I'm going to skip any of the check ins and activities and save those for you guys to do in class or on your own. As far as a pedicure stool and footrest, what that does is to help you to maintain your healthy posture. Okay. And also, you can use a separate footrest if you need to. So they do have some smaller footrest that you can put on top of your client's footrest if their leg is too low or to raise their leg up, so that when you're exfoliating the skin with a foot file, you're not having to hold that client's heavy foot. We do have one at the school. I'll make sure that I pull it down just to kind of show you what it is. But I think that what we have with our pedicure basins is working pretty well. Also, our pedicure tubs, they do have an adjustable footrest, so do know that you can raise and lower that footrest if they were using. There are different type of pedicure foot baths. Okay. Um, we have there's basin soak baths. Okay. Which that's what we have. We have a basin foot bath. It's actually portable as well. So to me, this is like a basin one doesn't have wheels on it. A basin one is just like a little foot tub. We have the portable ones that's on wheels. There's actually a plug. I don't know if y'all noticed it, but there's a plug on it that you can plug up, and it'll vibrate the bottom of the foot basin. It also, I believe, it also gets warm as well. So if you guys want to test that out, you definitely can. But we've just been putting hot water in there and allowing the clients to, soak their foot. And then also the whirlpool foot baths. Those are the big pedicure chairs that we saw on that last slide. Those a lot of times they do require plumbing. They do have some that don't have plumbing in them, but most of them do have to be plumbed. So if you're considering adding those to your business, just make sure that you have adequate water connection and water supplies so that you're not wasting your money purchasing a big piece of equipment that you can't use. Also, pedicures is not going to be something that you're going to be offering a whole lot of. I would say keep it simple. Start with you a small little portable pedicure unit and go from there and grow from there. Pedicure carts, they may look different types of ways, but the uses are to organize your supplies. They should be made of a hard, flat surface. They may have drawers and shelves and also wheels on them for easy use and mobility. Okay. So that just again, it helps to keep you organized, helps you to have a place to put your products and your tools and your implements. I talked about electric hand mitts with manicuring. This is what an electric foot mitt looks like. I'm going to be honest. This is not something that's commonly used. Um, If you are going to use electric foot mints, just see, as you can see, it's made of a product that is penetrable. So you want to make sure that you're covering your client's feet with whatever product, and then put it with plastic, and then putting those foot mitts on. But again, it's a higher cost service or an upgrade. And what those foot mitts do is they warm up, and it just helps with penetration of any mask that you're using on your client's skin. And it also helps them to become more comfortable. It aids in relaxation, and also, provides warmth to them. Again, not commonly used, but I mean, they are a thing. Terry cloth mitts, we talked about that, and with manicuring. So again, they are washable, they are reusable. You can use them on the hands and feet too. These ones are not electric. And again, just make sure that you're putting some kind of plastic over the hands and feet prior to using them, so that we're protecting all of the clients that are going to be using this. As far as paraffin treatment, that is a popular service that's sometimes added to your pedicure service. It is a relaxing service. The safest way to apply your paraffin is to put it in your bags first, and then take that back to your client. Um, Years and years ago, applying paraffin was not safe. Nail shops would take this same bucket or same tub and have everybody put their foot in that same bucket, or put their hand in the same bucket. So as you can see, it would cause a could cause a problem with health and sanitation. It's not sanitary, so that's not something that you want to do. Go ahead and scoop that paraffin into individual bags and take it to your client. And what paraffin does is it simply helps to promote moisture and hydration for your client's skin. I'm going to be honest and very transparent. Paraffin is very, I said this before, paraffin is very short lived. So it's going to promote moisture and hydration, but only for a few hours. Okay, that's just being honest. But again, it's a way to, you know, upsell your service. Hot stones are also another upscale service, something that we're going to be upselling. What hot stones do is enhance relaxation and also increase circulation. Those stones can be pretty hot, so just make sure that you test the warmth. And when you're using the hot stones, just make sure that you keep those moving on your client's skin, and make sure that you have oil on your client's skin when you're using those hot stones, because you need that slip to make sure that they are able to, so that you're able to manipulate them on the client's skin. The stones, they may be made of a natural material or a synthetic material, um, and you can more than likely read the product labeling if you are going to purchase hot stones to use in your business. As far as MRSA, we talked about MRSA with infection control. So just make sure that you are sanitizing and disinfecting your hot stones, because you don't want bacteria to grow on your stones and cause someone to have a really hard to treat staph infection. That's what MRSA is. It stands for methicillin resistant Staphylococcus aureus. So again, make sure that you are following the proper sanitation and steps of decontamination for everything that you do, whether we're talking about manicuring or pedicuring or using hot stones or any other tool, equipment, or implements. I'm going to skip the check-in, but I'm going to also remind you guys that if you haven't completed the Google Classroom, make sure that you are doing the Google Classroom review questions. If you have time once we leave the call, I think that today would be a great time for you to go and do your review questions or get anything that you need to get done in the Google Classroom. Okay. The next thing we're going to talk about are multi-use and single-use implements and materials used for pedicuring services. I feel like you two are pretty knowledgeable about what multi-use and single-use implements and materials are, but since we're here, I am going to cover it as it's on the slideshow. So, as a rule of thumb, all of your multi-use tools and implements, they're going to be made of a hard surface: metal, glass, rubber, plastic. Okay. Um, your single-use materials and implements are going to be made of an absorbent material, some kind of foam, a sponge, some sort of tape, cotton or wood, right? Or paper. So we're starting with our multi-use implements, your toenail clippers. So an interesting fact, and you will see this on your test for pedicuring, your toenail clippers, they are larger than your fingernail clippers. Your kits came with two sets of clippers. You have a smaller one and a larger one. The larger one are your toenail clippers. Um, the space is a wider space between the jaws, and the reason why that space is wider and why those toenail clippers are larger is because the toenails tend to grow thicker and also longer. Okay, the matrix on our toes are a lot thicker and produce a thicker nail plate. As far as nippers, okay. Now you don't have toenail nippers, but you guys do have nippers in your kit. But there are such thing as toenail nippers, and again, they are larger than your regular fingernail nippers, and they have a larger hinge box, and they have thicker jaws, like a thicker clamp to nip and clip those thicker toenails or thicker pieces of dead skin from the toenail area. And just as a rule of thumb, and you may see this on your test, always make sure that you're holding your nippers at a 45-degree angle, um, just to make sure that you're not, going to compromise your client by nipping them or cutting them with the nippers. A curé, okay. So this is a curé. Then we also have a nail rasp. This is a magnified look at a nail rasp. But what a curé does is helps remove debris from around the nail plate and underneath the nail. Um, just make sure that you're gentle with the curé because um, if you're not as gentle, you can poke someone and cause a blood spill. We don't want to do that. But also, you don't have to be soft enough to where to where you're, afraid to, clean around the nail plate. Just, handle it with care. Your nail rasp, it's like a metal file. It has like a textured end, and what it does is it helps you to file the sides of the nail plate, um, so that we can prevent the in so that we can prevent ingrowns. It does say to never use this on ingrowns because if a person has an ingrown, it's already gone into the skin. And so if the ingrown is something that you can get out without causing a blood spill, then you can remove ingrowns. But if the ingrown is has been there for a while and it's like really embedded, you want to go ahead and refer them to a podiatrist so that we're not compromising their skin or causing a blood spill. Pedicure nail files. So this is not a nail file. This is actually a foot file, but um, for the file for filing the nails, medium grit is going to work best. So 100 to 180 um, on the toenails because again, those typically are a lot thicker, so we need a little bit more of an abrasive grit. You can finish filing with a fine grit, but if you try to file with a fine grit on toenails, you're going to be there filing all day. That's something I also want to remind you guys too. When you're working with your clients with acrylics and things like that, make sure that you're looking at the grit. If you're finding that you're fouling a whole lot or your shape is not coming out like you need it to be, not like you want it to come out, check out your grit or your nail file. If you're using a 100 or 180 and you're filing forever, go ahead and bump it down. If we're talking about artificial enhancements, bump it down to that 80/80 to where you can go ahead and file it and be done because that's where you can save on your time. Um, so back to pedicure nail file. So medium grits work best. You can also finish with a fine grit that's gonna refine, make the nail smooth. As far as metal files, That would be more like that curate because that curate is a metal tool that has that metal file on the end. So depending on the thickness of the client's toenails, you may have to use a metal file to file their toenails. As far as your foot file, I do recommend these. I was watching something. We do have the metal foot files at the school, which they're commonly used. Um, but I feel like a client gets a better longevity of smoother skin when you use a foot file that's made of um, like this higher grit sandpaper or a metal file that doesn't look like a cheese grater, right? I gotta find a picture. I'll find a picture of one. I was gonna look up some to order for the school because those foot files that have the little holes in it that look like a cheese grater, sometimes they do create those micro cuts in the skin, which makes the skin feel rougher quicker than filing with a regular sandpaper nail file. So that's something to think about. But when we would use a foot file, it's basically to reduce and smooth out your calluses. And just as a reminder, the goal is not to try to take the callus away because we have calluses, people have calluses for their own protection. The callus is formed because that's a common place where we are putting our weight. So the body naturally is forming that protection. Okay.
Mm.
And as far as reusable versus single use, um, your foot files that look like this that are made of the sandpaper, those are going to be single use. Okay. There are some foot files that are reusable that are made of metal that don't look like the cheese grater. They're still metal, but they're just a textured file, which again those are reusable. So just pay attention, do your diligence. If you know if you know that that file is reusable, make sure that you go through the proper steps of decontamination. And if it's single use, just make sure that you're getting rid of it after your pedicure. As far as materials, okay, so our materials that we're going to be using in pedicuring are going to be your toe separators, which I don't need to break that down. You guys know what pedicure slippers are, and you know what gloves are, so I don't have to break that down. I'm going to keep going on with that, and then we're going to get into the products. Okay, so different products that we use. Um, your foot soak. Okay. So foot soak is used to soften the skin on the feet, but it's also designed to cleanse the feet as well and deodorize the feet. Okay. Exfoliating scrubs is also something else that you'll be using or you have used in your pedicure. So again, it's designed to remove dry, flaky skin. Also designed to reduce calluses and just make sure that you are wearing your gloves when you're applying your foot scrubs because you don't want to compromise the skin on your hands and make them too rough or over exfoliate them. So always wear gloves. As far as mask and foot lotion goes, your masks are concentrated products. They're concentrated treatment products. So you got to be choosing your mask based on what the client needs. The mask is basically used to cleanse. Some of them are used to exfoliate. It may be an exfoliating mask. Some of them may be used to tighten and tone the skin. Some of the masks may be used to hydrate and nourish the skin. So just make sure that you're reading what that mask is designed for. Okay, especially when you're creating your service menus for your pedicures. As far as foot lotions or creams, again, we're going to be using those to condition and moisturize the skin, to soften calluses, and also to provide nice slip for our foot and leg massages. You can also use oil as well. As far as callus softeners are going to be used to soften and smooth your calluses. Um, just be mindful of using them in the proper way. Uh, Improper use can be damaging to the skin. So anytime you're using your callus softeners, only put them on the callus. Don't put them all over the skin. Don't put them on the back of the dark the I guess the top side of the foot because it's going to burn or start to tingle. Also, make sure that you're wearing your gloves. Make sure you're not slinging that product everywhere either Because if you get it on your skin, if you notice that you're burning or tingling, more than likely you got some of that callus softener on your skin. That is a it is a alkaline product. Okay, so it's designed to basically eat away or deteriorate the skin, almost like Nair. You know how Nair eats away and
Mhm.
disintegrates the hair? Well, the callus softener disintegrates or eats away the dead skin. Okay, so only put it on the dead skin. Also, never use a razor type callus shaver blade. These are not really sold anymore, but this is one of those prohibited items in our TDLR rule book. And so back in the day, people would they call them like a credo blade. People would put this little razor blade on a handle and go through and
Mhm.
shave off the callus. But remember, like I told you guys, the calluses are there for our protection. So if you're shaving off the callus, you're exposing that sensitive, raw, new, fresh skin. It may be hard for that person to walk. You may be exposing them to different bacteria and fungus, right? Because we put our feet in our shoes, and bacteria grows in warm, dark, moist places, right? Also, too, bacteria lives everywhere. So if you are using something like a shave or a razor blade to shave, and you nick them or expose that true skin, they're going to be exposed to some type of infection. So no razor blades, no callus, no shaving of calluses. You only need to use your foot files to smooth and soften them. As far as choosing your products, your pedicure products, and your service menu, when it comes to choosing your products, you do want to compare several lines. So I do want to give you guys a little bit of homework. And it's not anything that I want you to turn in, but I do want you guys to research some different pedicure products, pedicure line, pedicure product line, so that you can know the amount of investment. Also, know what those products are formulated for, and for you to decide, what's going to be best for you and your business. So, I would also make sure that you check the quality of the company's educational support. And I'm going to use the Estes, for example. We use Circadia products because Circadia supports us a whole lot with educating our estheticians. Um, I'm also going to be honest, there's not a lot of major product lines for pedicuring and nail technology. Y'all's major product lines are going to be like polishes, like different gel polishes or nail systems. I just learned about one. So I think his name is, oh shoot, I have to look him up. But I'm gonna get some of his polishes because I love the brushes. What's this guy's name? Sean, Sean Legend. Sean Legend. Have y'all heard of him? Oh
Mhm.
yeah. So Sean Legend. I'm gonna buy some of those gels. I like them. I like them a lot. But anyway, so you want to choose all your products based off of the quality and also the educational support for you. As far as your service menu goes, um, create a service menu that's going to benefit your client's lifestyle. And on your service menu, I do recommend having at least 2 to 3 different types of pedicures, and also list any additional services that you may offer, like acrylic toes for pedicuring. As far as interaction during the service, during your pedicure services, just make sure that we're discussing the foot health. Maybe ask them about when's the last time they had a pedicure, if there's anything that they're noticing um, different within their skin on their feet, the health of their feet, if they've ever had a toe fungus or athlete's foot, those types of things, but also do your diligence as a nail technician to see if you can visualize anything that may be abnormal as well so that you can know if that client is a good candidate for that service. You can also discuss upgrades. You do want to upsell your services. Also recommend products. Um, you may want to sell home care products like a foot mask or a massage product, a massage cream, or some type of oil. You can offer refreshments. Just make sure that you're also keeping the conversations professional. So my rule of thumb when it comes to like engaging with my clients, I don't talk about politics. I don't talk about religion. Okay, those are two things I stay away from. But get to know them. You can ask about their kids. You can talk about the holidays and things like that. Just make sure that you're not making the conversations like too personal or talking about things that are touchy subjects. Also encourage your clients to get monthly pedicures. For me, I'm that client I go every 2 weeks to get a pedicure. If I go 3 weeks, it's because I couldn't make it on that second week because I was busy. So you may even want to consider selling packages for people. That's another thing. Even with nail care too. As far as scheduling, um, shaving. You want to advise your clients not to shave at least 48 hours prior to your pedicures. That's just a rule of thumb. And that's just because when we shave, sometimes we nick ourselves. And anytime we have open or broken skin, you're just more prone to, risk of infection. And they call that micro trauma. Um, if they have shaved, then you can offer them a waterless pedicure or simply reschedule. It's your choice. Um, As far as single-use pedicure slippers, again, those are single-use. These days, we have a lot of pedicure slippers, and we're not really using them as much because a lot of times people are getting gel, so you don't really have to use the pedicure slippers. Um, or clients are coming with their flip-flops because they know that they're going to be getting a pedicure. As far as designing your service, so this is the time frame it should take you to do a basic pedicure. It should take you 30 to 45 minutes, including the foot massage. So make sure that you are giving that foot massage. For a spa pedicure, those are going to be longer. You may be using the hot stones. You may be adding the paraffin. You may be doing a mask. Okay, so usually those will take 1 hour to an hour and a half. No longer than an hour and a half for a pedicure. And again, it is going to be including your leg massage and other pampering treatments. So um, I think that this is great for you guys to understand the timing of your pedicures, from your basic to your spa pedicures. As far as staying on schedule, know where you should be in a service at a specific time. So, for instance, if you know that your pedicure takes 45 minutes, at the 15-minute mark, you should at least be pushing back the cuticles and maybe exfoliating the skin. Okay. Um, During the consultation, that's how you're going to determine how long the pedicure should take and what type of pedicure you're going to be performing. You also want to make sure that you are allotting at least 10 minutes for disinfection, okay? And that's to clean the pedicure basin, clean your tools and implements, and disinfect that pedicure basin and disinfect those tools and implements to get them ready for your next client. Also, make sure that you're sticking to the appointment time that's allotted. If you go over your appointment time, it's going to put you behind for the rest of the day for all your clients. Series pedicures. So some of your clients are going to need series pedicures. You may see this on your exam. Series pedicures, they are a set of appointments to resolve a particular issue. So it could be that your client is having severe dry skin. Okay. Um, so you might want them to come in for a series, maybe every 2 weeks for 2 months or 6 weeks. Um, you can perform a basic pedicure for them. It may be a weekly appointment for 4 to 6 weeks. Okay, that will be a part of your series. You may do a soak treatment for them, callus reduction, and lotion. Okay, if your client is suffering from scaly feet, just make sure that you know if it's a fungal infection or if it's just dry, scaly feet. So make sure that you perform a fungal test. Let me look up fungal test. So the only way that we can test for a fungus is by sending them to a doctor. So the doctor will have to scrape that dry scaly feet or that dry scaly area and test it for a fungus. If it comes back negative, then and they're suffering from scaly feet, then maybe you can do a 3 to 6 week exfoliation treatment for them. Okay. For your elderly client, these are our demographic of our special client that we're going to take special considerations for and treat them with more care. Um, for one, they may need assistance. As we get older, we get more stiff. We may not have as much mobility. Um, and you also want to offer pedicure services for these clients. Um, you also may want to do a spa pedicure for them as well. You can offer packages for them. You can also offer discounted services or free services for them on certain days because they're not able to get to their feet and give their own pedicure. So this is a group of people that do need those services. You can also market different themed services for holidays and special events. So those are things to consider for your elderly clients, and also things to consider for selling your pet for selling your pedicure services. And then, as far as benefits of massage, okay, massage is going to induce relaxation. It's going to stimulate blood flow. Um, you can emphasize the areas of massage that your client enjoys, so if you notice that if you know that your client stands on their feet all day, or when you do your massage, they say, "Oh, that feels really good," or "Oh my gosh, I needed that massage in that area." Then maybe give them some additional care and attention in that area. Just be aware of of their health. If your client has uncontrolled hypertension, they're not a candidate for massage. And also holding the foot, just make sure that you are comfortable or make use of your footrest because I mean, some people's legs can get heavy. So you don't want to wear yourself out. So do whatever you need to do to make sure that you're comfortable and able to uh, successfully execute the service. Reflexology is a thing, and you can incorporate this into your foot massage. So what reflexology means, or what you do with it is you basically apply pressure points. Okay, you may place your thumb in a certain area on a person's hand or foot for a few seconds to a minute, and what we're doing is using principles of acupressure and acupuncture that's going to correspond to different organs and glands or parts of the body that's connected to the hands and feet. So that's what reflexology is. Okay. It also can initiate positive energy and also can increase blood flow. As far as clients with special health considerations, your clients with limited mobility, you may have to be more flexible with them. Um, or you may have to they may not be able to get into a regular pedicure chair. You may have to pull a regular foot basin over to them. It just depends. Clients may also they may have involuntary movement, like they may be shaky, or they may have, different reflexes. So you may have to consider, changing up some things in your pedicure to accommodate them, as well as I'm gonna mute you, as well as your clients with altered vision. Maybe they can't see as well. So you just want to make sure that you're helping them get into the chair, get out of the chair, or if you're asking them something about their toenails, like maybe, do you like this color or is that length good? You may have to just be more patient with them and explain it a little bit better because they may have that limited or that altered vision. Clients with painful joints, if they have painful joints, I don't recommend doing massage unless they ask for it, but just treat them with care and maybe massage a little bit lighter. Um, they may also have you may also have clients that have a caregiver that brings them in. So just make sure that I know a lot of times we say no additional guest, but that is a time where you are going to have to be flexible with the additional guests if they have a caregiver. Okay. Also, clients that have a lowered immunity, like your diabetic patients or diabetic clients, just pay additional care to them to make sure that we're not breaking their skin and causing a blood spill because they take a little bit longer to heal from wounds. Okay. Flossing tools and implements. So make sure that when you're done with your pedicure, that you are looking between the toes. If you're not going to take that paper towel to floss in between to remove product, at least take your towel to dry the extra moisture because remember, bacteria and fungus, they grow in dark, warm, moist places. So we don't want to leave any extra product or any extra moisture there. Okay. So make sure you're always looking between the toes. And also soak your nails when we're talking about pushing back cuticles. That cuticle softener has urea in it, and that's what softens the cuticles to allow you to be able to push them back and trim them. As far as your tools and implements, um, try not to use anything that's like excessively sharp. Your metal tools are going to be sharp anyway, so I'm not sure why it says don't use anything sharp. I'm guessing they're saying don't use anything that's sharp that could draw blood, like something that's way too sharp. Um, we do want to nip the cuticles. I'm not sure why it says don't nip cuticles. Maybe they're talking about your clients that have um, special considerations or sensitive skin. Maybe instead of nipping, maybe you just want to push back the cuticles really well instead of nipping. Um, Also for those special clients, instead of using a coarse grit abrasive, you may want to consider using a fine grit abrasive, and also just practice care when you're clipping their nails, just so that we're not compromising their health. As far as paraffin and using paraffin, if your clients have a sensitivity to heat, you don't want to do paraffin wax for them, or you want to make sure that you cool it down because sometimes it's wax, so it can be quite hot. Um, so just make sure you let it cool down a little bit longer if that's the case. And then if you're going to massage, make sure that you list on your service menu that particular pedicure comes with a massage. Or if it doesn't, if you don't have it listed, ask if it's okay to massage. Okay. You can also ask if there's anything if there are any concerns with massaging or any sensitive areas on the foot and leg that may not need massaging. Use gentle pressure. This is something I always have to tell these nail techs do my pedicure. I think sometimes they're too strong. And like for me, I don't know. I just don't, I like a nice massage, but I don't want it to hurt. So just make sure that you use gentle but firm pressure, and of, ask if it's okay to bend or flex the knees or their ankles or toes, especially for the clients that are more sensitive or that have those stiff joints. As far as disinfection, just make sure that you're following your sanitation and disinfection steps. We do have those pedicure logs, so hopefully you guys have been filling out those forms after you do your pedicures. If you haven't, I'll take a look when I get to the school today. I may have you guys the daytime and evening classes to catch us up on the pedicure logs because that is something that we have to have for TDLR, whether we use the pedicure spas or not. Um, and it's just important to make sure that you clean and disinfect so that we won't have any health concerns in our school or in your salon or with your clients because it's your responsibility as a salon or our responsibility as a school and your responsibility as a nail technician to make sure that we're following those disinfection practices. Make sure that you're always using an EPA registered hospital grade disinfectant. Okay. Again, like I mentioned, make sure that we're recording the disinfection for each procedure and check your state regulations and your protocols. And again, you can find those in your TDLR rules. I want to say it's 83.10, 6, 7, and 8 for y'all. I want to say the pedicure basins are 186.108 for you guys, but I'll let you guys pull that up. I know you have it in your notes somewhere. And that is it. So we've talked about equipment, implements, and materials and products to perform pedicure services, steps that's needed to establish a pedicure business, the main benefits of pedicure massage, the importance of sensitivity to clients with special health considerations, and following disinfection practices. Okay. I am going to stop sharing there. Are there any questions that you guys have for me on Chapter 7, Pedicuring? In the Google Classroom, manicuring and pedicuring, they're coupled together. So they're not two separate tabs in Google Classroom. Nope. All righty. Well, if you guys don't have any questions, that is it for today. Um, we will see you guys